Okay, so I perfectly understand the technology that went into this movie and the fact that it's a movie with computer-generated backgrounds and environments, computer-generated actors, characters with performance capture, and some actual human beings involved on screen. Yet, would it be so wrong to define it an animation movie?
It would be wrong to define it as an animation movie, because in an animation movie, the actors do not drive the characters that you see on the screen. The actors might lend a voice performance to it. Our actors, they make the creative choices of when to raise their eyebrow, when to turn their head. So this is about performance. This is about putting actors in what we call a volume. It's almost like black box theater. And they drive the characters through CG. No different than prosthetics. You would not call somebody putting on hours and hours of makeup a prosthetic performance. It's a real performance. So this is not animated performances. These are actors driving the performances of characters that are realized through computer-generated imagery.
I see that, as you told us, there's a 14-year-old character which is performed by Sigourney Weaver. I suppose, but please tell me if that's the case. She's performing all the face expressions, not the movements, I suppose. The body movements, I suppose. The jumps.
Look, just like you would have, an actor do, and you have a stunt performer who does certain moments. You saw a scene, the first scene you saw today had Kiri, Sigourney's character, come up and look at these anemone underwater. Sigourney was in a water tank, capturing her performances, giving that facial performance and that swimming performance to come up and react to that. Now, if we're jumping on a log and it's dangerous, no, we're not going to have her do that, just like you wouldn't in any live action movie. But that idea of the dramatic performances, that's all Sigourney.
Aren't you afraid of the Irishman effect? I mean, in The Irishman, a lot of the times you see the young Al Pacino or young Robert De Niro that move like an older person. They move like the actual Robert De Niro, and that is quite strange. Weren't you afraid of this when casting Sigourney Weaver as a 14-year-old character?
You saw the footage today.
Well, it was very brief footage.
But it's not something we're not something we're worried about. We know the limitation. When you work on a movie, you have to know the strengths and weaknesses, and you have to find, as filmmakers, ways to highlight the strengths and remove the weaknesses. And I think Jim does a phenomenal job of that.
Okay, the high frame rate. I understand that the film has not just one rate of frames. It differs depending on the scenes. Yet, the only thing we're very used to see at a high frame rate are video games cutscenes, which are mostly computer generated. So, also on this side, weren't you afraid of that kind of effect, that the audience is not that used to see movies in theaters at a high frame rate, and it may seem to them like cutscenes from a video game?
We weren't worried about that. We did a number of tests, and we found where the high frame rate enhances. When we're doing a movie, particularly in 3D, you have a heightened sense of reality. It's almost like you're looking at a real object there. When we look at 3D in our life, and we look at 3D all the time, we don't see strobing. We don't see judder. The high frame rate enables us to get rid of that. We might not use high frame rate for a close-up. It doesn't enhance that moment. We pick the moments to enhance. I tell people, if you were doing a movie and releasing it in Atmos sound, you might not record it all in Atmos sound. But if you had a Lady Gaga concert, you might record that one scene in Atmos sound and then use it, but your whole movie will be presented in Atmos sound.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.